Welcome to this Magnolia CORE 5.5 release walkthrough. Topher and I will show you what's new with Magnolia 5.5. This is a big release. 385 tickets have been solved, and a big thanks goes again to the PD team, marketing team for promoting the release, and everybody else who played a part. I will start with a few administrative details. Topher will show you the light development improvements, and then we'll go back to user experience improvements in the end. This should last about 15 minutes. So with this release, our product has a new name. The on-premise offering that you know is called now Magnolia CORE, and this is just a naming change to contrast it from the new Magnolia Now on-demand offering. So CORE is the same flexible, robust system that you rely on today, just a new name. A few administrative items on the dependencies side. We upgrade to Java 8 because support for Java 7 ended already in the spring. Oracle doesn't provide more public updates, so Magnolia 5.5 requires Java 8. We also upgrade the Jackrabbit repository to 2.12.4 for performance reasons. A new version of FreeMarker brings interesting new features such as a new list directive where you can add an else statement at the end. If your list is empty, you don't have to rotate through it, don't have to iterate, it saves time. And we're going to be using that in quite a few places in Magnolia templating. And we also changed the default Darby database to a database called H2. And the reason for this is that H2 uses fewer files. It takes fewer file handles, and we avoid the issue of too many open files that impacted some systems. So with this release, you have a new database. You can still use Darby if you kept using it. We provide a connector for it. Before we go further, I asked Topher to step in for light development.
Yeah, so as you know, Magnolia has many different definitions. Things are apps or dialogues or templates are coming in from JCR. Now they can come in from files. The files can be in the class path of the file system. And it's been a great flexibility, but it can be hard to have an overview over what the actual definitions are that are running in the system until now. Now we have the new definitions app, which I would say is the highlight of 5.5. This is really amazing. I'm just going to go through a whirlwind tour, but I really encourage you to play with it a bit. It's really cool to see, to get this kind of overview into the system. So what can we do in the definitions app? Well, for one thing, we can see, so here's all the definitions, themes, renderers, field types. We can filter down and just look at the definitions from one item. I can even just type into the list. So DAM app, now I can take a look. I can see which apps are in the DAM app, etc. I see it's just apps, dialogues, and field types. I can also search for things just by type or by name. So for example, I'm going to search for cookie, and I see, okay, I've got some templates loaded and some dialogues loaded for a cookie. Another nice thing I see over on the side is that I can see if something is decorated or not. So this new feature that we introduced, decoration, where you can create a file that modifies something else. It's very, very handy. Not only can I see at a glance if something's decorated, I have a filter where I can find everything that's decorated. So let's get rid of this and look just for the decorated things. For example, I can see that I have an app that's decorated, the Pages app. Let's say I want to know more about that. What's actually being decorated? Who's modifying the Pages app? Well, anything that's decorated, I can have an action, which is show definition decorators. And now I can see all the things that are modifying the stock Pages app. And if you look, it doesn't take long to see that it's the personalization, the component personalization that's changing the Pages app. So for example, this one, here's a decorator. The decorated path is sub-apps detail actions edit component. So something is changing the edit component action. Okay, what's it doing? I'm curious. I want to track this down. Well, there's a little link here, which is going to take me directly to the actual decoration. So this has actually switched me to the resources files app. And here I can see the actual decoration being applied. And we can see that it's replacing the regular action with the edit variant action. So that makes sense. Okay, so I can switch back to the definitions app. Another really handy thing is a filter for invalid definitions. So take off the decorated only, check out the invalid definitions. And here I see something called cutter. Okay, and I'm also curious where that's coming from. Show in resources app. Okay, so it's showing me that there's a problem with one of my definitions because the YAML is incorrect. There's this space where it doesn't belong. So that's really going to be helpful for people. People are really missing validation features. This is one of them that's now out of the box. In addition, we've been looking at just this definitions tab, and I really encourage you to explore in here. It's fantastic. We also have the problems tab, and this is also going to be super handy. When I was doing the interviews, validation was one of the things people were asking for the most. And let's say in particular, I'm working on this cookie template. So I can search the cookie component module, and now I see the two problems. One of them we already saw. This was this actual YAML problem. Another one is a little more subtle. It tells me that there's a property which is not assigned. So it found a property, template script, which is not found. So what's wrong with this template script? It's just, well, okay, I can see that it's the template script, the S is not capitalized. Okay, so I would need to go into Atom and fix that. But this is fantastic. So any kind of typo, anything that doesn't match up with the definition is going to be flagged. So yeah, I think it's interesting to note that this is kind of like the conclusion of this file-based configuration story that we started with 5.4. So in 5.4, you were able to do them. In 5.4.3, you were then able to open up the resources app and see and override definitions. And now with the definitions app, you have like the 360 view on what's actually running in the system. So from there, I'll jump straight into light development. Definitions app, of course, applies to all kinds of development. Yeah, so with 5.5, we are now finally making Magnolia Templating Essentials and the Magnolia Templating Kit official. We're bumping them up from the 0. versions to 1.0, actually 1.1 with 5.5. So we encourage you to use these. They will now sort of enter have the same patterns as other official modules. We won't make breaking changes except if necessary in a major version. So what's actually new? Actually, not too much changed. We made a few tweaks. The page intro is now automatically within the basic page. We fixed a few things with imaging. The major improvement for this version is navigation. So now we actually supply navigation functions out of the box and a few navigation templates to get you started. So this was one of the most requested features, and we didn't deliver it sooner because we really knew we wanted to get it right. We wanted to spend more time thinking about it, and I think we've come up with something that really is what you needed. It was clear from the SDK that it had been too prescriptive, not flexible enough. We wanted something super duper flexible. So basically, it's just a templating function. which lets you work either with pages or with content. And the reason it's so flexible is because this templating function is something you can use in your templates, and you can go to town. There's no limits on building your own navigation. We know that's what people need to customize almost the most in any project. I have a very simple example of what's delivered out of the box with MTK. So this shows you just how raw the MTK is. It's not getting in your way. So if I have two pages next to each other, so we just have this bread and cake, and this is the out-of-the-box navigation. Okay, it doesn't look very pretty because, as you know, with MTK, we're going as minimal as possible, but we can make that a little bit nicer because we have light modules, and I can just bring in a module that brings in a basic style. So that style is now applied, and now we have a little bit of a nicer styling for navigation. Yeah, the other two new things that we've released is now themes are available as a registry, and we can double check that in the definitions app. So now themes can be provided by YAML. Here they are, the themes for Sports Station and Travel Demo. And with that, we've removed the theme sub-app from the site app because it's not necessary anymore. You can treat themes just like you treat everything else. It's consistent with how renderers, templates, dialogues work. The other nice new feature, it's not bundled, but it's very helpful for light development, is the content importer. Because before, if you're using light modules, you didn't have a way to bring in all your exports easily. Now you just drop them in a directory, and this content will be imported. So let's just take a quick look at that. So here we are, Pages app. We have Travel, Sports Station, and Bake World. Let's add a new page. Okay. So in the file system, so I've added the content importer to my Magnolia just by bringing the jar in. And I've configured a special directory, which is the content importer live. And now when the system is running, all I need to do is drag any files into that directory, and using the file watching system, Magnolia picks those files up. And we can see in the pulse. So there was a lot of concern about, we don't want people clobbering a system by dropping files in. They don't know where the files might have come from a module on NPM or whatever. Let's give people some security there. So instead of being just automatically imported, there's tasks. And then you can make a conscious decision to import those things, which we will do now. So if you're familiar with tasks, then you know how this works. Just assign them. And once they're assigned, so I've got something coming in the dam, and that's in. And I've got something coming in website, import. So those have been imported, and now there we go. I've got my new cookies page, and take a look at that. Cookies. So it brought in the asset, which is linked. There's the page. There's the component already set up. And this is this cookie component that I've been referring to, which is also in one of my light modules. Yeah, so that's all that's new actually within Magnolia as far as light development. But there is another very exciting announcement. You all know about the command line interface, and now this is officially 1.0. And this is now moved to the NPM repository, the standard NPM repository. And what this means is that somebody can really get started with Magnolia just with the CLI. And I'll just do a quick demo of the CLI to show you the power of the CLI. So, somebody from nothing can do npm install Magnolia CLI. It takes a few seconds, so I won't run it. But just with this command, they can install the CLI locally. And once they have the CLI, it really holds their hand through every step. You can get the bundle automatically. Then you can install it. And then once you have the bundle installed, Okay, wait a minute. Let me switch to a different directory. Okay, so yeah, I just want to show you the CLI very quickly, how it holds your hand and lets you create things fast. So here's my light modules. This is my project. I'm going to create a new light module. So MGNL is the CLI. Create light module, event buzz. Okay, it created a light module, and if I look inside there, it has my whole folder structure just set up exactly like it should be to get to work. Let's create a page template quick. So cd event buzz. Now I'm in the directory. Now I can do mgnl create page schedule. Okay, you can see it created a YAML and an FTL file for me. Now I want to create a component to put on that page. So I'll do mgnl. Hope you can see this down there. mgnl create component calendar, and let's add it to that page, make it available on the page. Schedule, and we'll put it in the main area. Okay, so it created my component for me, and if I look in my page, it actually created this area for me, and I just put the area where I want it in my page. And I'm trying to create this calendar, and I went online and I found a cool calendar JavaScript thing. So I can just bring that into my new component. All right, and then in Magnolia, since it's a light module, everything is picked up. If I add a page, I can add my schedule and give it a title. Yeah. And open up the page. Okay. And if I add a component, there's only one component available. This is the calendar. Of course, I would like to tweak the dialog later, but I get this out of the box, which is super handy from the CLI. And I have a calendar component. So that's light development in 5.5. Enjoy.
I ran through a couple of UX improvements for practitioners, authors, and editors. You already saw that handy shortcut where Topher was moving from one app to another. So by pressing Alt-Shift, this app switcher component pops up. Thank you, Sasha, for contributing this tool. And moving is a lot faster than it used to be. And I can land on an app like that. Another key improvement for authors is the ability to copy-paste nodes, items, pages, components. So let's look at that in the Pages app first. I open the Pages app, and let's open a very basic page here, such as the company page. Here in the main area, we have a text image component. And once you've selected a component, there's a new action here, copy component. When you click it, that particular component gets copied to the clipboard. And now you need to find the target where you'd like to paste it. So I'm going to go and select the same area here. Click Paste Component, and now I have a copy below it. Copying items from one page to another is also supposed to work, but we have a minor bug there. It'll be fixed in the first maintenance release of 5.5.1. Also, you can copy all components in an area. So I've selected my main area, copy components. And now when I paste, the header component and the two text images are also pasted down there. Saves a lot of repetitive work when you need to reproduce the same structure from many pages. This copy-paste also works in other apps. You can add it to any of your content apps. I'll show it here in the Assets app. I'll take a selection of random assets here, not even next to each other, I'll copy the items. Now those 3 images are copied to the clipboard, and I'll go to another folder, such as here, and paste them there. And they're there. Moving items is faster and easier when the item resides deep in a directory structure. The move dialog has been improved so that, for example, let's take an item here that is quite deep down under SVG icons, destinations. Here we have a kind of an image of a globe, 3 levels down. Now the move asset dialog that opens with this action here used to open at the root of the tree. So you had to find the same location again if you just wanted to rearrange things a little bit. Now it opens at this very same location where my selected item was. And finally, the installation screens that you see in the beginning when you install and update Magnolia have gotten a facelift. What we've done here is, you'll see on the right-hand column that you can clearly see which of these installation tasks is installing something versus updating something. They are organized in a kind of vertical tabbed manner so you can expand the details of any of them. You can see the expanded detail view first, what are the kind of preconditions that need to happen before we go to the actual installation tasks. So this is not only a visual refresh, but also makes it easier to read and understand what is going to happen and what happens before those tasks. So 5.5 is a major release. It resolves 385 tickets and brings to a conclusion the story of resource file handling, for example. But so many things have happened since 5.4 that I want to reiterate a few of them. In 5.4.9, we delivered component personalization, which made personalization a lot more targeted and time-saving. We've delivered the resource files app, which gives you one place to look at all types of resources from all sources. MTK is available as a light module for light developers, so if you like to work on the file system, you can download it and start working on your text editor right away. We added the definition decoration feature in the 5 series that Hofer alluded to, where you can change an existing definition by modifying it or adding to it. Very useful feature. And also, the YAML definitions have gone further. Now you can do site prototypes in YAML. So this just a brief recap of what has happened in the recent past. This concludes the walkthrough. Let's take some questions if you have any.